What's going on, housemates? Marcelo here, and I'm recording this video the night before Arsenal visit West Ham at the Olympic Stadium. It's a big game for us at this point in the season. Of course, it's still only November. Well, it's about to be December, but every game is so important, especially given the slightly rough start to the season we've had compared to Liverpool, who have been flying. And so it feels like every game is a must win, but thankfully we are doing close to zero traveling in the next 2 months compared to Manchester City and Liverpool. And our fixtures are extremely favorable compared to the difficult start to the season we've had in terms of who we faced, and many of those games coming away from home. So we enter this game against West Ham full of confidence, of course. First, our game against Nottingham Forest a week ago was phenomenal, right? We finally kept a clean sheet. Saka scored a worldie, Partey scored a worldie, and Ethan Nwaneri got his first Premier League goal. But more importantly than the individuals who scored, I think it was one of our best performances this season, if not our best performance. You know, after finally getting a full game under his belt, Odegaard was finally able to play at the Emirates again, and he was finding some more rhythm, and he just ran the show. It's as simple as that. We just look significantly better with him in the side. No surprise there. And so that was a great return to, positive vibes and good form. And then we followed that up, of course, with our resounding victory against Sporting away. It was our joint biggest away win in club history in the Champions League or European Cup. It was the first time Sporting had lost at home in over 400 days. They hadn't lost this season, if excluding their the equivalent of the Community Shield. And we just dominated them from start to finish. It was a brilliant performance. There was that slight scare at the start of the second half that they might get back into the game when they scored early on in the second half, but that proved only to be a scare and nothing but that. So we go into this game tomorrow so full of confidence, and we should be really excited. West Ham, of course, beat us at home last season in December, almost exactly a year ago, and it was somewhat of a shock result. It was one of those games where just nothing would fall our way, and it was sort of an inexplicable result. But then we went to their ground where we visit tomorrow, and we smashed them. It was 6-0, right? So we can hope for more of the same. West Ham's had a really poor start to the season, but they are coming off the back of an encouraging 2-0 win away at Newcastle. So that's a big win for them. So they will also be riding a wave of confidence, but we have more or less our full squad back. And so we have every reason to believe that we can go there and put in another dominant performance. I'm not saying 6-0 necessarily, but we should feel very good about our chances tomorrow. The only caveat, of course, is the fitness of Gabriel. There's a bit of uncertainty around him. He did come off against Sporting. And yeah, it wasn't clear based on Mikel Arteta's press conference whether Gabriel will be available. Arteta always likes to keep his cards close to him, as I've said before, as we all know. I think he's going to start because it didn't look like a serious injury. There haven't been any reports of it sounding or seeming like a serious injury. And Gabriel is just one of those players who is always available for us. So I think that we will have a full strength squad, of course, with the exception of Ben White being absent through his long-term injury. But we have every reason to feel good. West Ham does have a lot of quality, right? They have some individually brilliant players. Kudus is still serving his ban, but the likes of Bowen and Paqueta in particular, great players. So we'll have to be switched on, but based on our two most recent performances, I think we should be full of confidence. So you never know in the Premier League, but we will see tomorrow whether Gabriel is fit. We will see what the status is with him. And other than that, I think it's going to be a pretty self-explanatory lineup. I think it's going to be Raya, Timber at right back, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori. It'll be Partey at the base with Marino and Odegaard as our forward midfielders. Now, I know this is controversial to say, but there have been more reports this season about Thomas Partey and the rape allegations and a woman who came forward on Twitter was silenced, really. Sure, her account was blocked, and she name dropped the people in the legal team at Arsenal who have sort of tried to silence her. And so for my personal beliefs yes, men are disproportionately accused of sexual assault and rape by women as opposed to regular, a non-professional football player, I should say. But still, in the case of Thomas Partey, I think it's important to believe the women who have come forward. And so I would start not only because of those reasons, right? But mainly because of that, I would start Rice at the base in the six because I think his best position in the long term is in the six. And then Odegaard and Marino in front of him. And then, of course, Gabriel Martinelli, Kai Havertz, and Bukayo Saka. I even think that we can be a more functional midfield with Rice at the base and Odegaard and Marino ahead of him. I think Marino is really growing into this team, especially obviously now that Martin Odegaard is back in the side as well. And so you see him becoming more comfortable in the system, imposing himself more. Really, the first huge signs of promise were in that Chelsea game when he came on and he single-handedly changed the tempo in our favor, the way that he was so confident under pressure to keep the ball and find forward passes, most importantly. So I won't ramble on. I want to keep this one relatively short. So I expect an unchanged lineup tomorrow, realistically, and I expect us to get all 3 points. So let me know what you think in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications. Send this video to a friend if you have a friend who is an Arsenal fan or a West Ham fan. And I will talk to you, of course, after the game. So take it easy, everybody. Come on, you Gunners, and peace.